Hello. We are on time tonight.
Yes.
8 o'clock. I'm really proud of ourselves, and we have Lena back. So, thank you.
Yay.
Back here live, not half an hour in. You know what's so funny is I watched a podcast today. The Call him daddy, call me dad,
Call her daddy.
call her daddy, and she was with her guests, and they were kind of giggling at the beginning, and they said the same thing. They were like,
Really?
"We really just went through this whole podcast. We've been like." It was so good. It was like the best like part of the podcast. And they're like, so if we're acting like we don't really want to do this right now, it's because we literally just did it. And I'm like, dude, I feel that so hard now. That's what we did.
It was gonna be. It was gonna be.
It was good,
too.
but it was good. It was good anyway. So,
Yeah, it was.
hello, happy June 29th. Welcome to Cancer season.
Finally. Not. I mean, I love my Gemini sun, but this Gemini season couldn't have been over quick enough for me. It's been a rough Gemini season.
Yeah, I have a Gemini rising, but yeah, Cancer is all in your feels, all in those emotions, and
oh yeah, it's gonna get better. Cancer
no, I was
rising,
like,
so...
oh, I don't know about that, but
it's
so
okay.
happy
but
birthday to my daughter. Today is my daughter's 8th birthday, so we've been
happy
celebrating
birthday.
all day. So if you hear crazy things, the kids are in the background, so I apologize now. That's just how it is sometimes. But we've been celebrating all day. We went swimming. We went to a cookout in Yellow Springs. A lot of people there. There was music and food. We went to the swimming pool. We did tie-dyed shirts at the house party, so you can still kind of
Really?
see my hands. So we've been partying it down today.
I love tie-dyeing. I mean, it's so fun.
I don't know if we did it correctly. We haven't taken the rubber bands off yet, so
That's the best
it
part.
was way. That's what
the
we
reveal.
So we were like, hopefully, when we take these rubber bands off, like it'll be like this spectacular thing, because we the whole time felt like we had done it wrong. Like it did not feel right, but they look cool. Like
I don't think there's any wrong way you can do tie-dye, you know.
We're
It's whatever
find
you're
out.
feeling.
We'll find
We'll
out.
look at it and be like, we know exactly where she was in her life when she made this tie-dye shirt.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we've done all day, like
That's
today.
awesome.
So it's been a great day. A little tired, but
Yeah,
very
well,
fulfilling. Just having. I was just thinking, it was like literally this time 8 years ago that I got to give birth to her. So
wow.
it's been a ride ever since.
Isn't it crazy when you think about that?
Yeah, she's my only girl. She's the only girl on both sides. Like,
did you find that your pregnancy and everything with the girl was just more dramatic?
Yes, from day one it
Yeah.
was more dramatic. I mean, from day one it was more dramatic. And she is a Cancer, and kind of going on what our topic is tonight. She's very like she's got an empathic like soul and spirit, and always has. Even before like she was born. I have two that are very, I mean, I don't know, I think most children today, I feel like we have children today that are like empaths on a whole, like a lot.
Oh, yeah, they're in the know, definitely. My I have a 4 or 5 month old nephew, and you can just tell by the way he just interacts with the world that he's been here before. I can't talk about it. I can't, you know. It's a wise beyond their years. All my kids had it. They got it. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's like magnetism. So we all just kind of like flock together, since we kind of are. So it seems like all of our children are. So I don't know if like every child born is got that same thing. So so tonight's episode is about
being
an empath.
Yeah. So
what that looks like.
So
you say you're an empath.
And the one thing that's brought me to this is I didn't even know what this term really was until 10 years ago, actually. And when I started looking into it, my life started making a lot more sense. I remember being in school, and school was just kind of a depressing time for me, just being in school. I had friends and stuff like that, but I just remember being down a lot. And now looking back, I was just an empath. I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is I was sad all the time. And throughout my life, I picked up my parents' depression when they were going through, depressed times. And yeah, and at school, I mean, you're surrounded by kids and all the different backgrounds and the types of homes they come from. And if I had known, or even if my mom had known, like we could have, she could have taught me how to handle those situations a lot better. And
Would she
now,
have believed in that concept?
yeah, oh yeah, I think my mom definitely would have. In the first 10 years of my son's life, I didn't believe in that concept. And it explained a lot about him and, his interactions at school. Not that they were necessarily negative, but he could definitely feel the energy of other people. Yeah, and I think you'll just be depressed. You have no idea why you're sad.
if you don't know what's happening. Absolutely.
And then so now, as I'm getting older, I've learned tools, like just if you're sad out of nowhere, you have no idea where it's coming from. Then just ask yourself, like, am I sad? Am I particularly sad right now? And if you can't pinpoint anything, then you're probably feeling someone else's sadness. And, it would have saved a lot of depression growing up if I had known that I was just feeling other people's sadness. It wasn't mine.
I think that because I feel like I have been pretty much an empath my entire life, but I kind of grew up a little differently in that my mom and dad were very spiritual. My mom came more from a religious background than my dad did, but they were both very open, and my grandmother was a prayer warrior, and we knew that my grandmother was a prayer warrior. So we knew that my great grandmother was from indigenous tribes. And so even though it wasn't like a very like strong point in our life, like religion or anything, it was always, my sister and I were always raised to believe in intuition.
Yes.
And to always it's always been something that's been very open that we've talked about as a family. So I got to be raised in a very open environment of understanding and being an empath, not only like in picking up others' energy and the way that they're feeling, but even like energies as a whole. Like when I was a child, I could sense other for lack of like energy, or more like yes, I totally foresaw both of my grandparents. I had dreams of both of my grandparents before they passed. But more of like the undead, or like if you like a ghost kind of feeling, or that energy. I don't know if it's like true ghost, but like an energy feeling at my grandmother's house, just always knowing at my parents' land, it's very like rich with this just heritage and just being able to feel energies and sense that. And so we just kind of grew up with knowing that we were able to pick up other people's energies and what that would look like. And just talking that out was like a big thing, I think, getting to grow up with that. So
it is I grew up, but my dad's family is Pentecostal, my mom's family was Baptist, and all of them, both my grandmothers, were very much open to spirits and having gut feelings about stuff. A lot of old, what are they called? Not old wives' tales. I mean, not that those aren't something, but having little things like don't walk under a ladder.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the superstitions.
Yes. And I think it's huge in the Appalachian culture. I think it's something that was carried over here, and but it was very accepting in our family. Just being open to the unknown. They were all very well aware of it. It's so my family definitely would have been open to it. They probably just like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. Like I just didn't know about it. So some of the signs, and we've already been talking a little bit, signs that you're an empath is like feeling other people's energy, their emotions like it's your own, feeling great sadness and feeling sometimes desperation.
It might be hard for you to
and
watch movies because you get very involved in like,
yes.
this is real life, man. Like you feel everything that's
Mhm.
happening in the movie like it's happening to you.
The more open you get that you become of this type of stuff, I feel that you've become more sensitive. I used to watch Walking Dead, loved it, loved
That's
that
a
show.
comforting movie. That's a comfort show for me.
Comfort.
It really is. It's the weird, I do not know why, but it really is. It feels cozy to me.
Like I just like to sit up with it.
Maybe because there isn't any nuance to their choices.
Yeah,
Kill or be
maybe.
killed.
Yeah, I've always been someone that really loves my friend even said, I think it's like apocalyptic, like I love that, like being like stranded on an island or being like apocalyptic times and you're trying to survive. I love that, like that feeling is like, I don't know if I've survived.
Do you like Castaway? Have we talked about this?
I love Castaway. Yeah.
You and my husband, it's his favorite movie.
I mean, Forrest Gump is mine, but it's still Tom Hanks.
It is. It's yeah. Yeah. So, one thing that this also can mean, feeling other people, like you also feel happiness.
Yeah.
Whenever you're at a concert, whenever this shared joy, and that's why you leave these places kind of buzzing, even if you don't even know what an empath is. It's that, going to church and leaving with it, you're uplifted.
You're
everyone around you is uplifted. So you can, I definitely pick up happiness from people because I find myself almost obnoxiously smiling and being happy, and it's a little overboard. Yep. But and that's the nice part about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen all the time, but do you have problems? What?
Nothing. She's over there playing with a ball or something, and I'm like, what is happening over there?
I use bouncy balls for muscle.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Yeah. I'm over here doing magic.
I know. I thought you were. I was like, Lena's over there doing magic tricks with her little rubber ball.
I thought maybe I was like saying something wrong. You're like, are you kidding me? We're on live.
Squirrel. Sorry. Yes.
So one of the other things, I don't know if you have a problem. You may not have a problem with this. Do you have a problem with crowds?
So as I've gotten older, I have, and I think that I have a lot of confidence in crowds. So like if I'm going to be able to speak or if I'm going to teach a yoga class, I don't have a problem doing that. Like I have a lot of courage in doing that. But I have noticed as I've gotten older that I have sensory overload pretty easily. And I feel like I'm going to implode like when it's happening. So too much sound or high decibels or too much, like if something's happening here and there's sound here, I literally start to feel like I'm imploding. It's like anxiety. And I think I've probably always had that. I just think that I would drown that out by drinking. Like if I needed to be out and be on, then I would drink to kind of drown that out.
Yeah. It's I used to think that I was this like crazy outgoing person because when I would go out, I would be outgoing and talk to people.
Yeah.
And looking back, I was just drinking. I was drinking, and it absolutely is. And I'm like, and so now when I go to these same type of events and I'm not drinking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so shy. I don't I feel backwards
or you just pick up. And as I've gotten older and I've started to like get more in tune or just really accept, I think it's just more accept the fact that I am an empath, and it can be very heavy. It's learning that's why I don't like to go out in crowds now, because it's like I'm feeling so much at one time and so much energy that I sometimes still can't decide if it's my energy or not. I'm just getting to a point where I'm accepting enough of understanding that it's not. But it really gets in my head a lot when I'm around a lot of people. I can get in my head, and if I'm not like super grounded, I have to like use tools to stay grounded.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten more difficult, and I like I'm not too sure if it's because I don't drink as much anymore. I but I also know how to protect myself, and I it's something that I didn't have before. One time I went to the mall with a friend of mine, and we were in Abercrombie and Finch, and I started sweating. I had to get out. I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And I couldn't take being at the mall, and it wasn't even overly crowded. It was I don't know if it's just the vibe. I couldn't take it anymore, and it was that's when I started knowing what anxiety was. I had never had that until I was about 33-ish, honestly. So being highly intuitive and gut feelings, we already, talk about that, just an inner knowing when something's off, feeling that there's a disturbance in the force somewhere. Like, yeah, it's, I think we all kind of, if we really tune into it, we've all felt that, these aha moments where you're like, I knew it.
I think that, yes, I think that we all are very highly intuitive if we can listen, and if we quiet that down just enough to and accept it. Like, I think accepting it is a big, just waking up on, I trust, I trust my thoughts. I trust what the universe provides for me, and then like really starting to tune in. And when you hit the tune in frequency of it, it's like magic, man. Like things happen, and you feel that, and it does raise that vibe and that frequency up, and it's contagious. Then you go around and you start spreading that to other people, because just when you're an empath, you can pick people's energy up, but just as much, I think, when you really start to think about it, you can manipulate that in a way that you then are just as powerful in sending that out. So as an empath, you have to learn to not only protect yourself from receiving energy, but the energy that you're putting out is it can be magnified. It can be a little bit more intense, I think, when you have more of an empathic soul.
Oh yeah, and you can be a target for like they call them energy vampires, but what they really do, this is why you don't play with balls in the podcasting room. Lena just dropped a ball. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So you're highly sensitive, sensitive to energies. I have also, the older I've gotten, like with the Walking Dead thing, I can't watch it anymore. It my heart rate goes up. So we become sensitive to just violence. One movie I used to really like was Saving Private Ryan. I said Ryan. Great movie. I can't take it anymore. It's too sad. It's too much. It's violent. No, it's just, I can't do it.
Yep.
It was on not too long ago, and I couldn't do it this time.
I stay away from all like
war movies are done for me.
Can't take it.
But growing up an empath, especially when you don't know what it is, it can also people don't know how to deal with an empathic child a lot of the times, unless you know what an empath is. And so I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I was definitely told I was too sensitive. I was so sensitive. Anytime I thought anybody was upset with me, it would crush my soul. I didn't get like a lot of spankings growing up. My parents, all they really had to do was just be like, I'm disappointed. I'd be like, no.
Mine was just go in your room and you wait till your father gets home. So then we'd sit in there and stew all day, like, and then Dad would walk in the house and we're like, oh crap. And we just sit there like praying for mercy from God, just listening if you can listen, if mom has even told dad yet. Like,
and sometimes mom wouldn't like tell your dad, and you're like, that was your punishment.
The punishment was sitting all day, like feeling like you wait till your dad came home.
You're like, oh, it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be... Oh boy. Yeah, you also had mentioned like being overstimulated, and even as a kid, I remember my mom has even told me that I would be outside playing with kids, and then I would go off by myself, and like I'd had to recharge. I had to like, and she'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just kind of want to be by myself."
I didn't have friends when I was super little. My mom walked to school and followed me to school one time, and like peeked on me at recess because she was having like feelings that I wasn't getting along or making friends or something. And she said that it was heartbreaking because she saw me at recess just sitting by myself and like
oh, that's so sad,
but
little baby Whitney.
I do.
It's so I don't know how to handle. I'm so sorry.
Dude, yeah, I feel like I was probably a little bratty though. I mean, I get, now that I have a daughter, I kind of feel like I have these weird feelings of flashbacks to my own self.
You're like, well, I did smack her in the mouth, maybe.
But no, like, yeah.
I used to tattle.
Oh, I'm sure we did too. Tattles.
The worst.
Yeah.
Of course, my kids were.
If I saw someone doing something just that they were not allowed to do, the injustice of this person thinking that they can drink 2 Kool-Aids when you're only supposed to have 1, I would go and tell my mom, and mom would just be like, just because no one does like a tattletale, and sometimes I'd get in trouble. I tell mine,
I'm like, you don't want to be a tattle. Yeah, I'd get in trouble for tattling too. Like sometimes they would flip that around on you, and you'd get in trouble for tattling, and you're like,
and your cousin's like, oh.
We just handled that. It was like a free for all bloodbath. Like it was fists.
They had their own jury and.
Oh yeah,
dude, we would do that shit for real. We really did do that stuff. Man, we had all kinds of crazy shit. We really did have juries. Like we would have my cousins would be on the jury, and we'd be like, guilty. No.
Oh, kids, gosh, no wonder why we're like desensitized to like bullying. Like a lot of people of our generation, they're like, what are you talking about bullying?
Dude, and you have cousins and siblings, please.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh boy. So this overstimulation, you can also like it's including your household, and a lot of kids do have chaotic households. I mean, sometimes my kids have chaotic households.
I have a very chaotic household when the kids are there.
Yeah. And it can be too much. And I think as a parent who's an empath, those are the times when you can't stand any noises going on in your house, and you feel like you're about to scream and ram your head into a brick wall, and you lose it. Like your kids think that you're insane. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Mom's lost it. We've been overstimulated. Like it's too much. Everyone all of a sudden you snap and you just scream, shut up, everybody shut up."
Yeah.
And I hate saying shut up. That's like a big like thing for me. And but it happens. And as an empathic parent, we do that. And I feel that a lot of people are guilty of it. We don't want to admit it. So I'm just admitting it. I lose my shit.
I do too. And I do think though, like being that we're when we're empathic, I also have empathic children. So they really are picking up like my energies. And so we'll like start spinning that if we're not like, obviously I have to be the adult that stops it. So I have to like calm that down. But like you said, there's times I haven't, but it's interesting to play that with it because you're just kind of exchanging these energies, and and they will go wherever I go emotionally. The kids are going to go there too. Definitely. Like 100% going to go there. But seeing that and feeling that with them
it's so emotionally exhausting. And I usually get really, really tired, and it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But just know, to all you parents or out there, you're not alone. Like,
parents just don't understand.
No, they don't. So one thing to also keep in mind is in the family unit with your children around, they can also feel your chaos. Like she was saying, it will start spinning, out of control. But it'll also, I mean, other than, traumatizing, like we all do it. We've all traumatized
being
our
able
kids,
to stop
and
that cycle.
yeah, and it's just something they'll end up, they'll absorb the stress, and they'll come out at school or wherever else. They'll also, I've been, this is something I've developed in my life, is you become this peacemaker against all odds. You want to keep things at an even keel to your own detriment. Like, I will be in misery as long as everybody just shuts up. You even probably admit to something you didn't do just so everybody would stop. It's fine. I did it. Is all right. Punish me. Fine. But it's, how do you feel being empathic has shaped your self-worth and your boundaries?
Oh man. I mean, my entire life has been shaped through that.
Because keep in mind, you always, the other part of being an empath is you can feel how someone feels about you. And that is so a crappy feeling. If they don't like you, you're like, how many times have we been like that
but then feeling crazy me? Because like
they haven't done it, they haven't said anything to make you think that. You just know, you feel the energy, and you
very
just
much so
know. And that will affect your self-worth. When you feel constantly that people feel this way about you.
Well, you start to become walled and guarded if you don't know how to alchemize that energy or the way that makes you feel. Then you start to become that guarded person and defensive. I've become a very defensive person. That's something I have to work on a continuous, and knowing that I have to stop it for my kids' sake. So it's hard to say it hasn't defined my entire being of who I am to this day. And the more in tune with it, the more it shapes who I am and like what I do with my life.
It really affected the boundaries that I had put up, because I could, I wanted to be liked, and I wanted to be loved. And if I could feel that someone didn't necessarily like me or love me, or to whatever extent it goes, I would let people cross boundaries that I should have had, because it would make them happy. And if they're happy, then they're going to like me, and then I'll be happy. And it's sad, but it's a matter of fact. I mean, I think everybody has this problem in some aspect. And if you don't have that problem, I envy you. Like, that's been probably the biggest, it's probably
people pleasers, being a people pleaser. Yes, it's so, and those are the people who, like, when you're a people pleaser, you don't know who you are as a person, because you're just anything that this person needs you to be. And that is something I suffer from greatly.
Yeah, sure. I love country music.
Minimize. Yeah. It's kind of like the runaway bride, like how she doesn't even know how she likes her eggs. It's like, you don't know. It takes all of this unlayering, because you just kept putting these layers on to make people happy. Please like me. Please accept me. And that started at like a very young age for me, I think.
Me too.
Wanting to be, like you said, accepted, to be popular, having that, knowing that my mom comes and sees me. When we moved to Ohio, I made like a conscious decision that I wanted to be popular. Like, I remember making that decision, and my mom being like, well, you have to talk to people. Like you have to like go talk to people and put yourself out there. So I made almost like a flip in my brain and went the opposite. So I would be super funny, or I would always try to be like the jokesy person. Again, just morphing myself to mold myself to whatever was going to make people like me and like to please them, and changing that energy whenever you feel like you need to, like you almost become like a shapeshifter.
You do, and
to energies,
and
or
then
who
just
you're around.
always feeling awkward. I always felt awkward. I always felt
You don't belong to one
weird and
crowd.
odd.
You belong to
Yes,
everybody.
yes.
Everybody's your crowd. Like those are the same people who are like, they are the ones who like, well, I mean,
Or
I
not
just kinda
belonging
want-
to any crowd. You're
Mhm.
just friends with someone who's in that crowd, and sometimes you'll go hang out with them. That was probably. I had a hard time fitting in like groups. There would always be someone who never liked me.
I mean,
Just
You
really,
blame 'em?
I know, right. But now that I'm, I have, two 22-year-olds and two 12-year-olds. And
it's crazy.
yeah, now that, raising them in this type of world, and I know they're highly sensitive. I know they are. I didn't quite know all these tools when my son was like the first 10 years of my son's life. But for my girls, I'm always like, come on, let's go wash that bad mood off. Let's go, like clear that aura. It's been a rough day. We were at the mall. We were here or there. And so I would try to like let's cleanse that aura. Let's get, and the odd thing is they loved it when they were kids. They were so excited, and they would get the sage spray I had, and they would run to me with it, and they would want me to spray. And now that they're 12, they've completely rejected it.
Yeah, they're at that age.
It's fake. So basically, everything that I'm about now is, they're just not into it at all. But
they'll come back around.
They will.
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
But so I think you brought up a good point, like with the world as it is today, and knowing like those tools, and like, what are those tools? Like what do those tools look like for you? And my oldest son, Andrew, has been an empath to both worlds, very sensitive to energies that are otherworldly. We've had to like block mirrors. It's been a crazy ride with that one. Since he was little, and it started with sleep patterns. Like,
did it?
He started with having like, so some things that you could look for, like if you're like, what's going on with my kid? Like, what's going on? But it did start with sleep patterns. He was very immature when it came to sleeping. He's intelligent beyond levels of like our like knowledge in the day, but at night he struggled. He had a hard time sleeping, and we went through this section of life where he had night terrors, which was insane. And it was like really like they were very scary. But because he has flirted with that sensitivity his entire life, things that I've had to like really be conscious with is diet for him. Making sure that not like the junk food really does, the way that processes the body does change the way that we interact and we process what's happening in our day-to-day lives, and the energy, like we have to process that, and that happens at night. So making sure that you're eating like fruit before you go to bed. My kids know to eat fruit every night. They know, Mom, we're going to eat an apple so we don't have bad dreams, because it regulates your blood sugar through the night.
I'm going home and feeding all the kids.
Yes, give them apples. We literally, and they know. I had a doctor tell me, because of the night terror, it was like insane.
I was raised. My grandmother always told us not to eat before bed because we'd have nightmares.
Well, it has to be fruit. You don't want to eat something heavy because then it's hard. But like an apple is like really good. So what it does is if you eat like a candy bar or like a bowl of ice cream or something before bed, your blood sugar spikes and then it drops like really fast while you're typically when you're asleep, and that causes nightmares and can cause like that process changes because it just drops you in the middle. The blood sugar drops. Where if you eat like an apple or fruit, it maintains the blood sugar through the entire sleep, so you stay even keeled. And grounding. My son will still to this day. I'm like, I don't care. You live in Cincinnati, get outside, get your shoes off. Like teaching these now to your children and to yourself, because we need, with social media and with the phones and everything that's online, 5G, you are tapping into a frequency that keeps you up in air. And so you're always up here in your head, which then when you're in your head keeps you in your emotions, and that's how they control you. So that's how like control happens. So the best thing for you to do is, because let's face it, we can't stop. I mean, we're going to be scrolling, we're going to be on the internet, is to get outside and get your feet grounded. It takes that energy from being so much in your head and all of this energy that's come at you, all of the people that you've come into contact, that energy that you hold, and it puts it down, it grounds down, and just visualizing it leaving and being rooted out of your feet and into the earth. And that will alchemize that. But it's so important. It's something that, and you can do that at work. If you have to run outside, find a patch of grass and just tune into the here and now, listen to the sounds. What do I hear? I can hear birds chirping. I hear a plane. I hear kids playing way back in a park. Like tune into what's happening right now in this moment as much as you can. I can feel the wall. I can feel this tree, touch a tree. It puts electrons through your body that will ground you down. But as an empath, leaving Walmart can have you, I mean, you can leave. Those are the places where that collective energy is so heavy, and then you're leaving and you're just like, and now you have to go drive a car with like sometimes rage in you, or
maybe kids mad because you didn't buy them anything.
Yeah.
I know that whenever I go walk into Walmart, I do this white light protection.
I love it.
And it's something you can practice. You can do a whole thing where you sit down and you get into your meditative type state. But if you just are on the go, just as you're walking in, just imagine this beautiful white light is surrounding your whole body, and it's protecting you from anybody's negative energy getting in, and nothing but love can enter this bubble you've created.
Visualization is so good.
And it's manageable now going into Walmart, or just any crowded place actually. But, teaching your kids that, which a lot of kids wouldn't be open to that anyway. But it is something that I practice on a semi-daily basis, I should say.
Sage, clean the energy out.
Also, with like your children, you can get crystals. Put like black tourmaline under their bed. Put that repels negative energy. Any black stone, obsidian.
And watch your kids scream and throw fits and everything as those little demons come out of them.
It's so funny.
It's a good thing they're screaming.
This is a good thing. We're performing an exorcism here. Let them be.
Yeah. You pray too. Yeah.
Pray. Dude, that's gotten me out of some energy situations. Yeah. That is a true story. Again, my son, going back to him, he down to in his sleep, he will know to like, he has his own like sayings, but we will, you can bind things, you can bind emotions, like call it as it is, like call the energy what it is. It's very important to name the energy. You can bind it. But we have always he's been very on spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is real. It's real.
It's absolutely real.
It's real. And that energy it's a battle. It's a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So really being in touch, don't be afraid to pray, whatever that looks like. Like, it doesn't have to just be Christian prayer or, Hindu. What I've noticed myself doing when I wake up, I'm constantly like in a kind of like prayer, but I'm always like saying the Hare Krishna. I will always be in prayer to Jesus. I'm always in prayer to Archangel Michael, asking for protection. I'm in constant prayer to my ancestors. I even call them out: my grandma, my grandpa, my Aunt Judy, my Aunt Joyce. Like, I go through all of my best friend Sabrina, who passed, like calling on those, because the worst thing is going to give you strength, knowing, like, just speaking those words out and feeling that connection to something. That's why that works, because it's like you feel rooted in something. You feel that strength in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever it is, like, just call it out when you're feeling that energy shift that's way, like, it's actually, you're up here in your head, but it's actually a low frequency vibration that you're feeling that's super thick. Then pray.
Yeah. Pray. If you can get outside, put those bare feet in the grass. That always
do it for your kids.
Yeah.
Put your babies, like if you have little ones,
taking a bath or a shower, just natural elements. Sit in front of a fire if you can.
Salt baths, amazing.
Salt baths, or
to cleanse the aura daily of all of the energy you've been around.
And if you do find that your child is extra sensitive, you don't have to call them out on it. It's a superpower. Believe me, our greatest strengths are also our greatest weaknesses. And if your child is overly sensitive and cries at the drop of a hat, my Ava, my youngest, she's my more sensitive one. Not so much anymore, but she used to be. And I could just see myself, like, I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly how she's feeling right now. And I wasn't as hard on her, because I knew that she was really feeling stuff.
Yeah.
So just a few little tips on
your empath,
your empathic child. This goes along with, like, being empathic. There's been we're not going to talk specifics, but I'm sure everyone can agree that there's a lot of heightened energy going around the world right now on so many levels. Everyone's feeling it.
Please know that you are safe, you are loved, that to just go with whatever you're feeling emotionally. You do not have to stick to it. Pull back from it. Like, get into that here and now. It is going to get thicker. That's just where we're at in this world right now. So just really feeling, getting in tune, fine tuning. Remember that we pulled that 8 of Pentacles that last time, that fine tuning, again, getting back into the basics of what it is that makes you feel centered and makes you feel grounded and makes you feel at home, makes you feel safe. What makes you feel safe, and just really digging into that. And
the more empathic you are, the stronger your intuition is. You're going to feel a heightened sense of everything that's going on. And
know that everybody's going through it. Everybody's feeling it. So just trying to stay high.
The best thing you can do is doing that, is elevating
love.
Send unconditional love. And this is something that we are more like, I would say we're followers of Jesus's teachings.
Absolutely.
And we I think the one thing that Jesus just really was trying to get across is unconditional love. It's really this simple. It's really this easy. Just love unconditionally. That doesn't mean you have to attach unconditionally. It means you just love them. You can love people from afar, but right now more than ever, the best thing that anybody can do is to love unconditionally. Everyone, countries,
just making space, giving grace to people, like people that don't think the same way that you do, and that's okay. It's all right.
We are all just living with the lens that we were born with. We're all just trying to fit in the environment that we were raised in. And
try to peel off your own layers.
Yeah.
Don't worry about peeling off other people's layers. You got enough layers. I promise you, you have enough layers to take care of yourself and just really start to focus. That's what Jesus's message was. That's what the Buddha's message was. That's what Krishna says, is to go internal. That's peeling it out. Like finding yourself, what it is you think of when you're in stillness. Turn off, social media. Go sit in the woods for just 5 minutes. Just go sit on the porch and just listen to what you hear and start to notice the downloads and the feelings and the creativity that starts to spark. Like one of my favorite things that someone said when we were at the ashram in West Virginia was when his kids would come to him and they would be like, we're bored. And he'd be like, good. And the kids would get mad at him like, no, like we want a different answer. And he was like, no, it's good that you're bored because that's where creativity comes from. And it is like, go get bored a little. Like you don't have to constantly have your phone. Sit with where your mind is without the noise and without the chaos. Get your kids doing that too. I know that's hard. It's hard to get them off of YouTube and off of the games. Like I know my kids are, but just getting them out in the water, in the creek, because they need to learn to regulate their emotions outside of the noise. I feel like the noise.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if your kid's an empath.
Especially. And sending out hate to anybody is doing no good. It's actually doing yourself harm. Anytime you send that kind of negative energy out, it's going to come back on you. And a lot of people are really, really unhappy right now. And I get it. I mean, I'm not exactly like ecstatic about a lot of things, but I just putting the vibe out there that it's all going to work out for our higher good and just sending love to the situation. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That everything, sending love and light to the situation, not love and I'm in love with this situation, but good.
It's just a situation that's just sharpening you, just, making you, fine tuning you, chiseling that out.
And even I had posted something about unconditional love to a few groups on Facebook. And I was a little surprised at some of the remarks that were made and how I don't think anybody was reading what this meant, just what unconditional love meant. And that if you really need a religion to practice, then just practice unconditional love. If that's what you really need, because that's really what any religion that comes to my mind right now, that is the root of it. But and I know it's easier said than done. Oh, it's so much easier said than done. It is so hard to send somebody unconditional love when you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, but that's what we're called
but
to
it
do.
That's the practice of it. It's a practice. So
yep.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. So one thing I want to go back to, I want to, before we close this out, I want the empath tools. So protection. Okay, I want to go over that again.
Okay,
just in case, because we, I don't know if you've noticed, we can go a little bit all over the place. Sometimes, not. Yeah, it's kind of rare, but it happens sometimes. But like we said, grounding, getting your feet in the ground or sitting in front of a fire,
touching a tree,
touching
smelling
a tree,
a flower.
And a tree will, if you have a lot of negative energy, if you just, that's why people say hug a tree, touch just wood, or and any kind. And
he got wood.
Constantly.
Got wood.
I do got wood.
Is that a wood around your necklace, or around your neck? Or you just happy to see me?
She said both. Oh,
So grounding.
Yeah,
touching
wood will
trees.
absorb negative energy and
Mhm.
neutralize it. That's
Absolutely.
the beautiful thing about
Ground
tree
it down.
hugging. Shielding, that can be putting yourself in this egg of light, and it's protecting you. A shaman had told me a long time ago, you can just use your own, imagine, like, say you are really into like Japanese culture. You can imagine that you are putting on the armor of a samurai all over your body, and you are
Yes.
protected. So if you were a football player and you want to think you were putting on pads and a helmet, it's all intention. You
Mhm.
can imagine whatever you want. You can imagine you're a Viking warrior.
Okay.
I've been watching the Vikings again, so I'm
Hmm.
there. Journaling, just journal out all that negative stuff, and just
Salt
don't
baths.
even reread it. Just burn it. Should you burn it?
I
Yeah.
like to burn it
Yeah. Just let it
myself
go.
and just let it go. Don't reread it
Yeah.
and implant it.
And then the crystals, black tourmaline. I think rose quartz will help. Just and you can even just Google it. I should have already had them sitting here with me when mine's going blank, but Google best crystals for an empath.
Our Reiki teacher was very adamant about salt baths every day. Like,
Yeah.
if you are out of salt, like if you can't get like the
You can get like a salt scrub. It's
Epsom
perfect,
salt,
but
she's like, I don't, if that you get even just the regular table salt, like if
Yeah.
you have nothing, it's like, as an empath, it is so important to cleanse that energetic field, and salt baths is where it's at. So that's like
Yeah.
my number one
Oh,
one
definitely.
go-to. Number one.
We had a class here, a make and take class, where you made your own empath spray. I used to keep that in my purse. Sometimes, like if I left the company of somebody and I just had to get all of that, just
Yeah.
spray my whole body. Or we made our own salt scrub.
Move your
And
bodies.
yes.
You do some yoga, of course, pranayama breathing exercises just to ground down. But a lot of times moving your body will help just move the energy that you're carrying with you. Expel it
Yes.
from the body, sweat it out. Go
I
for a
don't
walk.
practice this, but Tai Chi is amazing for
I
that.
wish I knew Tai Chi.
I
wish.
I've practiced it a couple times, and every time I did, I was like, I'm going to do this every day.
Yeah.
Story of my life. So
I'm grabbing the tarot cards. We'll read a tarot card for the next 2 weeks. I can hear my kids getting restless in the other room.
The place sounds like it's haunted. There's like shadows flashing by, like vague sounds of voices 3 doors down.
Yeah. They've been threatened that if they are loud, they're not allowed to do electronics for the week.
I would end up breaking on that one. That's the one thing that I am. My kids know that all they have to do is bug the shit out of me, and they'll end up getting what they want. Like, ooh, which one's that?
6 of Cups. Reminiscing, looking at the past, like karmic past. These are not my cards, I can tell. I'm like, oh.
They're mine. They're not just
I forgot my cards tonight.
Joe Schmo off the street. Sir, excuse me, sir. Cards. Do you have any tarot?
All right, we'll pick up that top card. Oh, so we have the 6 of Swords. Oh. Can you see that? Like when I put that up there, can they see it? So the 6 of Swords is moving away from something. It's like that change. You've made the decision to change. It's going forward and not looking back. So you can see that this woman has her child. So she's going into safety. The road, the water here is a little turbulent. She's leaving turbulent water to come here. There's the Swords is always mental. So it's always that mental. So she's a lot of what the collective would be here is to be able to move away from maybe the collect thoughts that you have, old thought patterns, if you're repeating some certain thing to yourself, you're still hung up on something, you're having a hard time letting something go, this is moving forward from that. This is finally letting that go, getting out of the head. She's got that like little split there, everything. She's even got the veil over her head. There's no looking back. There's no looking back. She's only forward. And it's, the veil is, it's comforting. Yes, you need some like time to really be there for yourself, self-care. Cancer, all about self-care right now, and Jupiter is like trying to it, so it's like all like and loves to be in Cancer, so it's really doing those things that we just said, all of that self-care, so that you're able to move past these thoughts or these ideas or the fears that you're holding. That's all up here in the head. So we're moving forward. She's taking this boat. She's leaving that and going into this beautiful, there's trees in the future. There's life, there's growth. You just have to get past those swords, get out of the head. That's a really good one to get. I love that card for the collective. There's a 5 of Cups on the bottom. Stop looking at what the past holds for you. It holds nothing. If you turn around, you have 2 cups that are still there waiting for you. Let go of whatever it is that you need to let go of. You know what it is. You have to let that go. Turn around, go forward. No looking back anymore. It's no more. We leave the 5. We make that decision to change. And 6 is that momentum forward. We're going forward now. It's awesome.
It is. I like that.
So yeah.
So it was great tonight.
Yes.
I'm so glad we got to do this.
To hang out with you. Thank you for hanging out.
Yes.
Please let us know down in the comments any stories that you have on being an empath. Any tools that you find that maybe we didn't mention or we've kind of skimmed through. So any stories, we'd love to hear from you. Any future ideas, things that you would like to talk about. If you like this video, please like it. Give us a thumbs up. Like and subscribe.
Yes, that would be amazing. And tell your friends and, not even, you can tell strangers too. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Get those little cards and start handing them out at the grocery stores and stuff to join us here at the Mystic Mamas.
Yes. Because after all,
it is a mystical,
life. Bye.
Bye. We'll see you in 2 weeks.